Too much heat makes life more difficult. You know it. The data show it. Birth rates drop 9 months after heat waves. Marathoners finish more slowly and drop out more often as the temperature climbs. And when it's hot, Major League Baseball pitchers are more likely to target batters after a teammate has been beamed. The list goes on. Murder rates rise, kids' math scores go down, profanity on social media rises, there's more horn honking, and people are meaner toward service employees. But it turns out, heat is affecting more than just our daily lives. It's also affecting our economies. Researchers are putting together a mosaic of how heat changes societies, and their preliminary work shows rising temperatures affect not only sports and crime, but also business and economic output. Given the pace of global warming and the question about what to do about it, all this number crunching is really a big deal. Looking back, the aughts were warmer than the 90s, which were warmer than the 80s, which were warmer than the 70s. What it seems to add up to is this. Since the 60s, economic productivity tends to peak when the annual average temperature is close to about 13 degrees Celsius. If the temperature climbs higher, productivity plummets. As the Earth warms, economies cool. Conventional wisdom says that rich nations have a buffer against high heat, but data are starting to show that's probably not the case. Over time, we all lose out, and no one more than the poor. The warmer it gets, the larger the gap grows between the rich and poor. The trouble is, we don't have millions of data points about how emissions warm a planet the way we have data about, say, how people finish marathons. Doubling the CO2 level in the air, which we're on track to do later this century, may lead to a dangerous 3 degrees Celsius global rise. That's the best estimate. The real number could be higher or lower. But researchers say today's temperatures already shave about 1/4 point off world GDP every year and may bite off 23% a year by the end of the century. The uncertainty, how hot, how fast, is enough to cause people, companies, and governments to break into a sweat. It's the most modern of predicaments. What's the best way to make sure economic growth continues in a climate changed?